Hey there, welcome to Chief's Shop and to Hey Chief, where I answer your questions about my projects and woodworking in general. Today I've got one about finishing, and then a couple that are ones that I get on a regular basis. I'm going to go ahead and address those today as well. So to start off, this is from actually a high school friend of mine, so this is interesting. Hey Chris, I've got a question for you. My husband and I did a project this weekend, went to big box store, needing a few things, and I asked the guy what would be the best putty to put on our project. Talking about wood putty. Told him the stain color we're using. Well, he recommended white. I said, are you sure? He promised that it would be fine and the stain would look the color of wood. Well, as you see on the attached picture, it didn't, and it's pink. Not too happy with that. Do you have any recommendations on how I can fix that? Absolutely. My best advice, and one I always give to folks, is select the wood filler that is closest to the color of your finished stain. Not trying to match the wood. This is one I use quite a bit. This is just it's actually a golden oak Elmer's. Whatever your stain is going to be on that project, that's the closest you want to match to. So hers was more of a, she's called it Cabernet, so it's a redder. So I would go with the more red or dark colored filler that you can find. And the biggest thing I told her though is that whenever you're filling something is make sure you remove as much of the filler as you can and sand it smooth prior to trying to stain. In the picture she sent, I could see a nice big glob of where the stain was. Any residual amount of that filler that's on the wood, it's gonna just pop out like a highlighted area when you put stain on it. Particularly in this case, the white filler on what looked like oak is just crazy. I don't understand why that recommendation would be there, but make sure you don't do that. But when you're putting filler on, it helps to use a putty knife in application. I've used anything from an old flathead screwdriver to put in just a tiny bit amount. I've used toothpicks. I've used any kind of bits and odds and ends that I can find, small areas, flat little areas, dental tools as a matter of fact I've used to apply filler in certain little areas. And then even use the putty knife to scrape away any excess then. And after it dries, you want to make sure that you sand it away very carefully, and use the same process you would for sanding any project, going from a coarser grit to a higher grit. But the number one thing, remove the excess, get it as close to the final stain product as you can. A lot of folks will give you tons of different advice on matching stain. I've done various things from this is one a lot of people use, where they add the stain to the wood filler and kind of mix it up, particularly if you use the powdered products, and get that close to your color. I have used sawdust and a bit of glue as a wood filler, and then work in the sometimes working the stain, sometimes not, because I'm using the sawdust from the project that I'm working on, so I save that off. I'm a bit odd in that I keep bits of sawdust and wood chips and things from projects because I use it in photography sometimes to accentuate things, but I also keep it on hand in case I have a project that I want to do, try to use that as a bit of filler. So that's a little bit of advice there. But for most folks, just getting that filler that's close to the stain color and working with that and removing most of it that you can, and that will probably give you the best results. On to the next couple of questions. Where can I get plans for your sketch of the day projects? I hear this question a lot, and I answer it a lot, so I'll answer it again. Not every sketch of the day project becomes a plan, and I wish I could do that. I wish I had the time for the 5 sketch of the day renderings that I do a week to become a plan, and I just don't have the time. Outside of chiefshop.com, I do project plans for a lot of other clients, some that I get credit for bylines on, some that I don't, because they're used for various different things. So in a slow week, I might be able to pump out more than one plan of the week in a busy time. Sometimes it's a couple weeks before I can get a project out. So a sketch of the day, if it's popular on the various places that it shows up on the blog, on my website, on Facebook, on YouTube, then it will become a plan at some point. If I get a specific request for a plan off of a sketch of the day, it definitely will fast track it and get it up into rotation, so to speak, to become a plan. But I wish I had the time to do that. It's a lot of work to create the sketch of the day every day anyway, and you would think it wouldn't be that much of a step to go from creating the drawing and then ultimately creating the plan, but there's a lot of things that go into it, a lot of testing if I need to in the shop, and making sure things are going to work, and so it just takes a while. So bear with me. If you do have a specific sketch of the day that you want to see become a plan, just email me and let me know. I do respond very well to that, and I will let you know right away whether or not I'm going to add that to the rotation or not. And finally, the last question is one I get quite a bit too, and it's, can I make the projects that you design, the plans that you, can I make those projects and sell them? And absolutely, please do. If you can make money off your woodworking, more power to you. I'm very happy and excited that you can do that. What I do ask is that you don't claim that the design is yours, because that is my design. I know you may change something about it, and much like with recipes, one little change, it becomes a completely new thing. So that's one aspect of it. But you know, clearly you can tell if something is inspired by something, whatever. But no, I don't make any sort of claims to the design in the sense that you can't build it and sell it. Now, most project plans you find like that, that's the case. I don't really know of anywhere where someone is going to go after you for building something and selling it to an individual. It's if you try to reproduce the plans and profit off that, that's where you're going to get into an issue. So there's copyright issues on the plan itself. On the building the project, no. Certainly in my case, no, I have absolutely no problem with it. And like I said, more power to you. If you do that, I would like to know, just so I can have kind of bragging rights a bit, that I know people in whatever part of the country. I do have someone or two folks I know of for sure that have done that in different parts of the country. And I'm proud of them for being able to do that, and I hope they can continue doing that. So anyone else, if your handiwork is great enough, if you got someone that'll buy that product off of you, absolutely go for it. Well, I hope you found the answers to these questions helpful and maybe got the thought process going. And if you have a question about anything, any of the projects I do or anything in woodworking, please send me a note, email me, put it on Facebook, wherever, the various means you can reach me. Absolutely. Send me the question and let me know. And if it's a dire situation, let me know that too, because a lot of times I answer these questions before I do a video on them. So someone may ask me a question 3 weeks ago and I answer it on a video now. I don't want you to wait that long. I try to answer it right away and get you an answer, and then this video is for folks that might have a similar problem, just didn't ask or didn't think to ask about it. So, and for more woodworking tips and project plans, please head over to chiefshop.com. You'll be able to download PDFs and all the project instructions that you need there. And as I always say at the end of these videos, time to get off the computer, get back in the shop, and make some sawdust.